got word of the video that had been released. I don't know the details of the confirmations, but should, in fact, this video be authentic, it's just one more indication of the viciousness and barbarity of this organization.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the very unemotional President Barack Obama, and contrast that with the King of Jordan, who vowed a strong, earth-shaking, and decisive response to the Islamic State's horrific killing of their captured pilot. Of course, video released earlier today and pictures showing him being burned to death. Joining us now is Dr. Herbert London, president of the London Center for Policy Research and a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and president emeritus of the Hudson Institute. Great to see you again, sir.
Pleasure to be with you.
All right, yeah, your take on this act of barbarism, which reportedly occurred back on January 2nd or 3rd, about a week after they captured the pilot.
The savagery is not at all atypical from what you've seen from ISIS in the past. The issue, of course, is what Jordan will do about it. What kind of military involvement can they engage in, and to what degree they want to be enmeshed in the regional war that's presently occurring. So there are a lot of questions that have to be raised. But since the pilot came from the largest tribal group that supports the Hamashite kingdom, there is no doubt that the king feels obliged to do something. So I think there will be some sort of response. How significant it will be remains to be seen.
There's talk that Jordan may, in fact, execute the female would-be suicide bomber that was talked about in a prisoner swap pending verification that the pilot was alive, which, of course, he wasn't. Would that be a good idea?
I think that's a further act of barbarism. I think what you want to do is to get at ISIS directly. And again, the difficulty, of course, is ISIS has territory, a large swath of territory in Syria and Iraq, right on the border of Jordan. So Jordan doesn't want to be enmeshed in a war, plus the fact that Jordan is going to count on Israel to support it. And the Israelis are, of course, a bit reluctant to get involved in this regional war as well. So there are a lot of dominoes that could fall.
When you say Jordan is counting on Israel to support it, you mean militarily?
Militarily, that is correct.
Okay.
I mean, Israel cannot allow Jordan to be jeopardized by ISIS.
Right.
The consequence of that would be horrific for Israel and its border. So Israel would have to do something to support Jordan.
Now, what President Obama, in his, I don't know, laxness here with regards to ISIS has done is he's brought together closer than ever, maybe, countries like Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jordan, and the countries that not only fear Iran, but also fear ISIS.
There's the emergence of a Sunni defense condominium in this area, in large part because of the American rapprochement with Iran. And so you see Egypt and the United Arab Emirates and, of course, Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Kuwait all very much involved in worrying about what will happen. The unregistered member of this condominium is Israel. The irony of this is that even though these countries don't love Israel, they need Israel because of its extraordinary conventional force.
Talk to me about Turkey and how difficult Turkey is making this whole battle against ISIS and the war on terror. I mean, well, how could they possibly be a member of NATO?
Well, they shouldn't be a member of NATO. In my judgment, I think one of the things you want to do is to ask Turkey to leave NATO. In fact, what they're doing at the moment is using NATO as a kind of wild card, providing all of the NATO codes to countries that it will deal with, including Russia and China. So it's very problematic. But of course, the border that Turkey has is very porous. And as a consequence, there are troops, there are foreigners coming across the Turkish border to fight with ISIS. That is problematic. And Erdogan is both a schizophrenic, I think probably literal and figurative schizophrenic. He wants a foot in each camp. He's not sure of what he wants to do. And of course, the Turkish economy has gone south, so that complicates matters further.
Although when it comes to who he supports and who Obama supports, I'm not saying that they're one and the same necessarily, but they both have a love for the Muslim Brotherhood and, you know, these radical groups. I mean, we are fighting, we have fought in Libya, Syria alongside of al-Qaeda.
The irony of this, of course, is that Saudi Arabia, Egypt have all declared the Muslim Brotherhood be persona non grata. They are banned. They're not banned in the United States. They're not banned by Obama. They're not banned by Hillary Clinton. But they are banned in the Sunni nations in the Middle East. It's ironic.
It is crazy. All right, let me talk about another act of, you know, the way it was reported, to me it was an anti-Semitic act as well as a terrorist act in France. In Nice, 3 soldiers guarding a Jewish installation were attacked, stabbed by terrorists, would-be terrorists, whatever. And this is just indicative of what's happening, all over France, all over Europe, and to an extent, if you go to California, UC Berkeley, they voted to disinvest from Israel. And they were waving the Palestinian flag, and Jewish students were shouted down by Muslim students shouting Allah Akbar. I mean, it's like the world gone totally nuts. We're even here.
Well, what you're seeing at UC California, this is the Davis campus
yes,
that
the
you're
Davis
referring
campus,
to.
yes.
There were terrible incidents that occurred. There are 7 institutions in the University of California system that have become BDS institutions, that is boycott, divestment, and sanctions institutions. Student councils have supported this position. I think that what you need is an open debate. This is outrageous. What it is an attempt to demonize and delegitimize the state of Israel. And it's a systematic effort, not only on the part of Arab students, but across the board. Left-wing students have now embraced this as their ideology in Europe and in the United States.
Yeah, and I think it starts at the top from the United States. Very briefly, what do you think we will see? Will this latest killing inspire Barack Obama to do more against ISIS or not?
I think that what you see in the United States is a moment is what the president is calling war fatigue. We are not doing anything about ISIS except these pinpricks. Keep in mind there's something on the order of 10 sorties a day.
Right.
Not enough to really make a difference. We have no boots on the ground aside from 1,000 advisors. If you really want to win this war, you've got to put boots on the ground.
Yeah. Herb London, great to see you as
Pleasure
always.
as always.
Appreciate your expertise.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with much more of the Steve Malzberg Show.